And welcome to the Tom Sawyer Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. I'm Grant Wall, joined as always by Winona State head football coach Tom Sawyer. And coach, it was a fantastic night on Saturday night. Big plays all around. All three facets of the game had some sort of big play that led to points for the Warriors. So just a fantastic game. You have to be pleased with the way everything went on Saturday.
Oh, that was awesome. The weather held out for us. Had a beautiful, sky above the stadium. I mean, it was a great night for all the people that came. We had a big recruiting weekend in here. A lot of kids, with their families that were here. But the football was awesome, and we knew it was going to be an explosive game, and we did our part. And like you said, there was, I don't know how many times it's ever happened, but we had all three groups had a touchdown in the game, so it really made it fun for everybody in the stadium.
A game that certainly did not lack in entertainment value. The Warriors got up big pretty early, a couple long scoring plays, and then Patrick Lazzara, we're going to talk to him in a little bit, picks off pass returns at 27 yards for a touchdown. As a coach, how big is it when somebody from the defense scores a touchdown? I mean, those are really unexpected points. What does that do to you in the way you call the game and the way you look at everything?
Well, I don't know if it changes the way we call the game. I think it does change the momentum of the game, and that's the biggest thing. And I talk about it a lot because I really feel it's important to understand momentum, how to use momentum, and how to get out of it when it's not going your way. And those are the things that can change it. And you get a play like that, and then you turn around and get another stop because you're going right back out on defense, and then the offense turns around and scores another one. You can put people to sleep that way, and that's really something that we really work hard on is getting momentum and then holding on to it for as long as you possibly can.
28-3 early was the score. Jack Nelson at quarterback, a couple of long touchdown passes in the game. He had 3 touchdowns of over 35 yards, hitting Tony Mueller, Alan May, and Cameron Johnson for long touchdown plays. The explosive play has really been an asset to the Warrior offense this year. When Jack's throwing the ball the way he is, I mean, how hard is it to stop this Warrior offense with so many weapons and a quarterback can get on the ball?
Well, the only thing that's really hurt us is ourselves. Penalties have been killing us, and so you're talking about the big plays. I'm talking about the negative plays, but it was really fun. Jack understands our vertical game very well, knows how to read, whether we're reading on the safeties or we're reading an alley player, we're reading a corner, whatever it may be. Depends on the play call, but he has a good understanding of that. John, of course, was very good at it as well. So it was something we've worked on the last couple of years. It's gotten better and better. And now we're reacting to it. We find holes, and we expect those plays to be touchdowns if we can get over the top. And it happened. And we had a couple other big plays, but the 3 touchdowns to those guys were huge plays in the game. And you have to have those in this league. If you don't have explosive plays, you'll punt the ball too much, and that's what we're trying to stay away from.
We've talked so much about Jack and him being able to step in right away as a true freshman. And we've talked about how ready he was to play. But these last 4 weeks that he's been the starting quarterback, how have you seen him mature even in this last month that he's been the guy under center?
Well, I think what he really has going well for himself is that he's just a good student of the game. He spends a lot of time at it on his own, comes into practice, asks a lot of good questions. He's very knowledgeable of football itself and how it moves. And I'm talking about the defensive side and what they're trying to do to him. So he can manipulate some of those people a little bit now. Now he needs to understand, timing and delivery. And for the first 3 games, he was just winging it like 85 miles an hour. Now he's starting to understand, okay, this ball needs a little touch on it. Throwing it to a back, I can't throw it 100 miles an hour. So he's starting to learn the fine points of playing quarterback here. But he's got all the natural ability, as people see. But he's calm, he's collected, and he's a fierce competitor.
28-3, like we mentioned early. Then Upper Iowa started making a little bit of a run until you talk about momentum and big plays. Upper Iowa forced to punt. Warriors blocked that punt, return it for a touchdown. That kind of broke the game open late in the third quarter. A special teams touchdown like that has to be just another bonus, just like that pick 6 from Lazzara.
Well, it's one of those things you look at during the week, and that was something we really felt we had an advantage at is in the special teams play. And Coach Barton, he does a remarkable job with the special teams, but he put together a couple blocks, and we hit it earlier, didn't get the hand on the football, and that particular time that you're talking about, we had 4 kids at the point of attack. I don't know who got it. I guess Mitch Lunder got the block, and one bounce popped right up to Kyle Kuhn. He's in the end zone. So again, special teams playing a role. A lot of times you're just working on field position, but when you have a chance, every play is a chance for a score, and when they get one, it's pretty cool.
Upper Iowa was able to put together on paper at least, a pretty impressive offensive day. But it seemed like when you needed to stop most, you always got it on Saturday night.
Yeah, we did a good job in the red zone. They put up 600 yards of offense, but they do that every week. I mean, it's just they ran 105 offensive plays. That's like a double game.
Yeah, that's an incredible number.
It's incredible. It's a ridiculous amount of number. They put up big numbers. And there was a game over at Southwest was over 800 yards. They broke our record from last year. So it's crazy. It's like the wild, wild west around here. But more importantly is keep them out of the end zone and make them punt the ball. And when they did, you got to get on them, and it paid off for us. So yeah, the defense, although yards are yards, they're not points. And so I don't really care how many yards they get. We only care about the points.
Let's look forward now. Sioux Falls, you mentioned, they gave up over 800 yards to Southwest Minnesota State last Saturday and still won the game. Sioux Falls is a team that was ranked last year, came here into Winona. The Warriors won that game 10-9 in a real defensive battle. This year's Sioux Falls team looks a little bit different than last year. What do you have to do to go on the road and beat the Cougars?
Well, just going back to last year real quick, you talk about special teams. We blocked an extra point, and it made the difference in the game. We got to play very well. This time it's against the run. We've seen enough passing for a while. We're going to see a very good another freshman quarterback, very athletic. He's got 12 of their 19 touchdowns. He's involved with every play, and more so than a passing quarterback. So we got to get to him, get a lot of people to him. He and the running back both have 118 yards per game together. Both of them each have 118 yards. So that's a two-headed monster. We got to be prepared for that, and we will be. But we need to take care of the football. We need to be explosive offensively. We need to do a better job with clock management. And really, the final thing that I think is really important is we got to reduce our penalties. We got to quit beating ourselves up a little bit and just play a clean football game and see what happens.
Sioux Falls is averaging over 300 yards rushing per game this year. We've seen these last couple of weeks real aerial attacks, teams that want to get out and throw the ball on you. Now you've got a team that really wants to run the ball against you. How do you have to shift your defense to now stop the run as opposed to the pass?
Well, it's a little bit different mentality. You go into, even Moorhead was trying to run some of the same stuff with a quarterback that was moving around pretty well. But yeah, it's assignment football. It's read option. The quarterback adds another back in the backfield. So you make some of those adjustments. Your coverage is a little bit different at times, and you got to keep giving them different pictures to work on. But yeah, really it is. It's getting a lot of people. It's flushing people to the football. It's tackling well, and when you have a chance to get a turnover, you got to get them. So we got to create a couple on that side as well.
And it's got to help to have such an active group of linebackers and defensive linemen who can get into the backfield and blow up those plays before they start.
Yeah, we're very fast and athletic, and we got to make sure that that's an advantage for us, not a disadvantage. So against option football, even though you want to play fast and aggressive, it's not just teeing back and going hunt down a quarterback. We got to play on the line of scrimmage more. You got to be really responsible for your own gap and protections and your assignments. And if you're disciplined and don't hurt yourself, you can be pretty good up against it.
Well, we mentioned all of the big plays from Saturday, throwing the football, intercepting the football, blocking the football. We're going to look at all of those big plays from Winona State's win over Upper Iowa as soon as we come back. Warriors beat Upper Iowa 49-32 last Saturday. Let's take a look at all of the highlights from the NSIC South opener. A great game here at home, great atmosphere, a night game, Coach. We're going to look at all the highlights, beginning with a run from the freshman, Paul Preston.
Yeah, he sure is dynamic. He was sat out all last week with a little injury and got healthy, and you can see him move right here. Fast kid that can run, and he's a lot of fun to have back on the field.
Dangerous when he gets to the outside, and big plays in the passing game was the story.
Well, they tried to heat us up a little bit, got some man coverage, and you can see we just blew over the top of it there with the touchdown to Tony Mueller.
Long pass to Tony on that one. Again, Jack in the shotgun, going downfield again.
Yeah, our vertical game's really coming along. He didn't get that one pushed out there as far as we'd like to, but a big catch by freshman Cameron Johnson.
Pursuit to the football is so important for a defense. Pat Lazzara is going to force a fumble here.
Yeah, we had a couple missed tackles at the beginning of the play, and then he came out of that safety position and just worked at the football and got it.
Going downfield now, touchdown, Cameron Johnson.
Yeah, got over the top, and actually, he got hit right as he threw it too. But a great play, and I'm excited for Cameron.
All right, Pat Lazzara again, pick six.
Yeah, this is kind of fun because he, stepped in front of the play. They had gotten a couple of number 12 was their main target in the game, and Pat read it perfect and went and got it.
coming out of the end zone, Jack Nelson, and a great catch by Josh Mikas.
Yeah, he's just a phenomenal athlete and knows where he's at on the field, and you can see it there.
Pat Lazzara again, interception in the end zone.
Yeah, and I don't know if he thinks he's Devin Hester or something coming out deep here, but he made a great play. He was excited, started to come out, but great pressure on the play, as you can see.
He's a Chicago kid, might have watched too many Bears games. Play action again, Warriors going down the field. Another great catch by Josh Mikas.
Yeah, again, that's what Josh does. He just goes and wins the battles of the jump ball, and again, we had somebody in his feet, so he just didn't get enough, but he still threw it 65 yards.
Warriors going downfield. This one's to Alex Jensen.
Alex is just a tough weapon in the middle of the field. He catches the football very well. He's physical, and we hope to get him in the end zone here pretty quick.
That play set up this. Jordan Cost's first touchdown of the day.
Yeah, he had a couple of them on the day. Again, we've seen a bunch of this over the last couple of weeks, and he's kind of our go-to guy in our short yardage. He's doing a great job.
Jack Nelson under center this time. Move him around a lot in the backfield. He's going to play action to Chichi. Going deep again. This one's Alan May.
Yeah, Alan had a big day for us as well, and just getting in the end zone, really excited for him, and he's a good punt returner. He just does a lot for our football team. Special
teams making it happen. Blocked punt. Kyle Kuhn's going to pick this up and score.
Yeah, perfect bounce right up to him, and a block there by Mitch Lunder. And when your defense is scoring, your special teams are scoring, it makes a fun day.
Warriors back on offense. Downfield again. The vertical game deep was really, really on.
Yeah, just again, finding the soft zone and the diagonal pass to Alan May was a huge play for us in that part of the game.
And then the last Warrior touchdown of the game, Jordan Cost is going to take this around the edge.
Well, they were plugging up the inside pretty well. We finally got some bodies up on that inside linebacker because he was very good, and you can see Jordan just raced him to the corner.
A lot of entertainment value in that big win over Upper Iowa on Saturday. When we come back, we're going to sit down with one of the stars of that big win. Pat Lazzara joins me here in studio. Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. We have the star of Winona State's defensive efforts from last Saturday here in studio with us, Patrick Lazzara. Patrick, it was a game where you really filled up the stat sheet. 2 interceptions, forced fumble, returned one of those interceptions for a touchdown, and then 8 tackles of your own. A game where, as a defense, gave up a lot of yards, but overall played pretty well, keeping Upper Iowa well below their averages on the year.
Yeah, I mean, it was all around. It was a fun night. We knew what Upper Iowa was going to do. They were going to run a lot of 3-step, try to spread the ball around, and they're going to come at us quick. But we just had to get our stops where we could and kind of just match their tempo and get the ball back to the offense.
Let's go through your night a little bit. So it's early in the second quarter. Winona State's just scored to go up. It's 14-3 at that point. Upper Iowa gets the ball back, goes to pass. Right along the left side, you step in front, interception. What did you see on that play, and then what's it like to find yourself with the football and then nothing in front of you in the end zone?
I mean, I just was waiting to make a play. I mean, they were running that those quick outs and those slants kind of all day, and I was just ready. I just read the quarterback, saw the ball out, and made my jump, and then there's 20 yards of green, so I just took me right in the end zone.
Is it one of those, you said they've been running those outs all day, and it was one of those you were just waiting for the right chance to step in front and pick one off?
Yeah, it basically was just timed up perfectly, and I mean, yeah, I was just waiting to go get one, and they had one deep on me early in the half, so I was kind of really wanted to get that back and get the ball back to our offense, and we'll score, get 9 points.
As a defender, you don't have very many chances to get into the end zone with the football. What's that like to finally get a chance to cross the goal line with the football and score a touchdown?
It's fun. I mean, we work on turnover and takeaway pursuit every week, and we have a drill where we practice taking the ball into the end zone, and we call it party in the paint. So when we actually get to do that on a Saturday night, it's fun to get in there and celebrate with your D.
So you had the first interception, then later, still in that second quarter, pick off another pass in the end zone, stopping a Upper Iowa drive that could have easily resulted in some sort of points. How big is it, not just that interception there, but when you get an interception deep in your own territory, how big is that to give the ball back and keep them off the board?
I mean, it's a big momentum thing. Coach Sawyer talks about momentum, and I mean, they started driving us a little bit, but we kind of bend but don't break, so kind of we were getting driven on a little bit, and to take it away, it's a momentum. It just takes all the wind out of their sails. So it's big to get turnovers when you got your back against the wall.
You had a hand in another turnover on the day of forcing a fumble that gave the ball back to the Warriors. It recovered and led to Winona State points. How important is it for this defense to really start collecting turnovers, something that you didn't have too many in the first 2 games of the year, but have really come on these last couple games? It started forcing fumbles and intercepting a few passes. How big is that for a defensive effort?
I mean, it's just huge, and just in football in general. We got offense that just take care of the ball, and then when we have our defense taking the ball away, I mean, that's the formula for a win. So, I mean, we understand that, and you see guys that we're keeping guys up, and we're ripping at the ball, and I mean, even some opposing coaches are yelling, "Hey, dead plays dead," but we're gonna rip on the ball until we hear a whistle. And I mean, the one I got out, it was on the second try. I was ripped it once, nothing, kept them up, ripped it again, ball's out. So I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We want the ball. We got an offense that can score, so we want to light up the scoreboard.
The more chances Warriors have with the football, the better. You're now into NSIC South play. A lot of really explosive offenses in the NSIC as a whole, but especially in this half of the conference. What do you have to do? You've played Upper Isle already, beat them. Now you get Sioux Falls, a team that runs the ball a lot and runs the ball really well. What do you have to do week in and week out to be successful defensively against these offenses?
I mean, we pride ourselves in just stopping. We want to stop the run. So I mean, we've done an okay job at it so far, but we just need to be relentless to the ball, pursue the ball, and really, I mean, it's another fast, high tempo offense that we're going to see again. I mean, it's nothing new. We see it every week. We practice for it. So I mean, last week was a big test. So it's just another South Division game. I mean, go into it the same way.
Sioux Falls has a very mobile quarterback who likes to move and run the football himself. When you have a quarterback who becomes a rushing weapon for an offense, how do you as a defense try to stop that?
We got to finish. We got to play the whole play. We stress that. I mean, we saw last week this kid was falling on the ground, still throwing the ball, and he's squeezing balls in. We got to play the whole play, finish the play, because, I mean, a lot of these quarterbacks, they can extend plays, and that's when they get you caught coming up out of coverage, and they'll throw one over you. So we had to, on the defensive back part, we need to play the whole play, and then up front, we need guys to contain that guy because it makes it easier on us in the back half.
It's a defensive backfield that has a lot of new faces in it this year as opposed to last year. Graduation, I think, graduated 3 of the 4 starters in the defensive backfield. How have you as a group come together? New corners, a new guy starting next to you as safety. How have you guys gelled these first few games?
I mean, it was different we have two new corners, a new safety with me, but I mean, it's just we just had to learn how people play, and I mean, we got it now. I mean, we have a good group now. We're having fun. You can see out there after celebrating after big plays. I mean, we've come together. So I mean, we gelled pretty good. It was just a little just through camp, just getting to know new guys and just seeing what they're about. So I mean, it's all good now. We're ready. We're rolling. So.
One last thing, NSIC Defensive Player of the Week for you. What does it mean to you to get recognized like that for what you did on the field?
I mean, I'm just trying to put my team in a good position to win. But I mean, it's nice to get a little recognition. But I mean, I'm just trying to go out there and get my hands on balls. And finally, I got my hand on 2 this week. And I mean, maybe get a couple more. So I mean,
as long as it's a win on the scoreboard, you're happy, right?
That's the only stat that matters is a W. So.
Excellent. Well, it'll be Saturday at Sioux Falls. The Warriors will take on the Cougars on the road, and we will be right back after this. Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. Joined now by Winona State assistant coach Ryan Markgraf, and Coach, you work with the tight ends and fullbacks on the Warrior offense. It's a really talented group of guys. Tell me what you've seen out of them so far this year that have allowed them to be so successful.
Well, I've seen just unending skill level from our guys. Tight ends, really a hybrid position. You got to be good at both the run and pass game, and all my guys have really, taken it to heart and made sure that they're good at all aspects of the game.
The highlight of that tight end position is obviously Alex Jensen, a senior who's come up with a lot of big catches for you. How much does he bring not only on the field for you, but in the practice field, in the classroom? Somebody who's been through a lot of these NSIC battles.
Yeah, he's the perfect senior you could have. Great leader by example. The new guys, Nick Margiata, who really looks up to him for how you should be on the field.
Another guy who's new and who's making a big impact is Zach Olstead, playing the fullback position, plays a little bit tight end. A guy that you can put all over the formation, but he's come through with some pretty big catches early in his career.
No, definitely. He, moving over from linebackers from last year in his redshirt freshman year, he's done absolutely an amazing job in both the pass game and run game. Really stretching the field vertically, and then being the thumper on our inside zone and power plays.
How important is it? You don't see a lot of fullbacks anymore in college football, a lot of one-back, people trying to spread them out. For this offense, how important is it to have a fullback who can really go in there and lay a good block and spring somebody for a big run?
Yeah, I think it's very important. When defenses start trying to mix up, different fronts or stunts or whatever you want to do, and we got an extra hand in the box that can block, I mean, it's invaluable. And then aside from that, once they start breaking down the safeties, now you throw them on the flat, get some over routes, get some corners too. Now, talking about the hybrid player, we can start going both ways and making some points.
A real big asset in the passing game,
Definitely.
Play action game, as well as the run game are all the tight ends and fullbacks here at Winona State. Let's talk about your position groups as it relates to the rest of the offensive line. Obviously, the offensive line is a group that's been around for a long time and playing together for a long time. How do you try to fit your tight ends into those groupings and make them just an extension of that line?
Well, it's pretty easy because I've been working with the O-line too for the past 4 years, and tight ends used to meet with the O-lines too. So we spend time with them every day. So it's really no different for us, and we keep the same mentality in the T-core room, as we call it. Just being physically dominating on the offensive side of the ball when we're rushing the ball, and being a little pest in the pass game and getting those extra yards, making one guy miss.
A new face on the offensive side is assistant coach Tony Spencer. He's now working with the offensive line. What's it been like to work with Coach Spencer so far this year?
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. Bringing in a fresh mind and his run philosophy to the pitcher, really opened up her eyes a little bit, and the way he's worked with the young guys and the old guys like Jake Lilla, Paul Quinn, Vance Ross, just making them better athletes. So I'm real happy to be around him every day.
Awesome. Well, it'll be a Winona State offensive line. They'll really look to get after it on Saturday in Sioux Falls. The Warriors take on the Cougars. That'll be a 1 o'clock kick. You can hear the game on 89.5 KQAL here in Winona. That's all we have for the Tom Sawyer Show this week. For everybody, Coach Sawyer, Corey, and all of our guests, we'll see you next week.